Rich. Sorry. All right. Good evening and welcome to this regular planning board meeting on July 25th, 2024. Madam Secretary, can you please call the roll?
Ms. Parker. Mr. Katzen. Mr. Lilly.
Here.
Mr. Heineman.
Here.
Mr. Kamook.
Here.
Mr. Deal.
Here.
Mr. O'Sullivan.
Here.
Councilman Roman.
Here.
Mayor Tamboro.
Here.
Vice Chair Fresky.
Here.
Chairperson Pearson.
Here.
Mr. Massara.
Here.
And I am serving as the board secretary this evening and the zoning officer. We need both.
Thank you very much. Can everybody please stand for the pledge of allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Secretary, I don't know what to call you tonight. Okay. Can you please read the statement, the Open Public Meeting Act statement?
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied with respect to this meeting of the Township of Verona Planning Board meeting, which is being held in person in the ballroom of the Verona Community Center located at 880 Bloomfield Avenue, Verona. The time and date of this meeting were included in the annual meeting notice posted in the community center and sent to the official newspapers of the township, the Verona Cedar Grove Times, and the Star Ledger, at least 48 hours preceding the start time of this meeting. The agenda and instructions on how to comment will be provided at the appropriate time. All meetings are recorded. Those wishing to speak during any public comment period should only provide their name and municipality. Street addresses are not required. Please be advised that should a member of the public choose to state their street address, it will not be redacted from the recording.
Thank you. We move on to D, the reorganization of the planning board. Mr. Massara, our council has already administered the oath of office to the 5 members listed. And we now move on to number 3, the nomination and election of the chairperson. Can I get a nomination for a chairperson, please?
I'd like to nominate Jessica Pearson as chairperson.
Mr. Roman nominates Jessica Pearson.
I'll second.
The mayor seconds. Are there any further nominations for somebody who cares to be chairperson? Hearing none. Thank you both for entrusting me with this. Can we please take a roll call vote?
If there's no other nominations, we don't have to do a roll call, just voice vote is fine.
Okay. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone not in favor? Any abstentions? Thank you. I appreciate that. Moving right along, nomination and election of the vice chairperson. I'm seeking nominations for the person to serve as vice chair. I would nominate Dave Fresky, Mr. David Fresky.
I second that.
Okay? Who seconded? Mr. Lilly. Are there any further nominations for somebody seeking to sit as vice chairperson? If not, can we please have a roll call vote?
You just do a voice vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. Correct. All those, yeah, I'm really slow tonight.
I didn't say tonight.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone not in favor? And any abstentions? Okay. Motion passes. We will now move on to number 5, appointment of the planning board secretary by resolution 2024-03. This appoints Malik Metwali as our planning board secretary. Would somebody like to move the resolution?
I move the resolution.
The mayor moves the resolution. Can I get a second?
Second.
Vice Chair Fresky seconds. Roll call vote, please.
You don't need it.
We don't?
You don't.
Okay. Everyone who's a proponent of this? Aye. Anyone? And no abstentions. But we have 2 absent. So, appointing our planning board attorney via resolution 2024-04. I'll make that motion. I'll move that. Can I get a second, please? Second by Dr. Old. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Anybody not in favor? Any abstentions? Thank you.
Sarah in favor? Maybe he doesn't.
Motion passes.
I'm here. Thank you very much. I appreciate it very much.
I
Okay.
appreciate your continued service.
As for meeting dates, you'll notice that the resolution has a blank in October, and that is because in October, there will be a special election the night before, they're going to need the room. So I have reserved two alternative evenings, if you could pull your calendars up. And I'll cancel one as soon as we figure this out. Either Thursday, October 17th, or Tuesday, October 22nd. I thought I would poll the members to see which date worked best for the most amount of people.
I might be away the later one.
The Tuesday,
But Thursday's better for me.
Thursday,
Sorry, what were the dates?
Thursday, October 17th, or Tuesday, the 22nd. We have 2 people that prefer Thursday, the 17th already.
I prefer Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm not here Thursday, the 17th.
22nd works better for me.
Maybe we won't have a meeting then. Shut up.
I'm fine either day.
I'm fine with either date as well.
Either one. Either one.
All right. How many people prefer the 17th? Or can make it, definitively can make the 17th by show of hands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many people can definitively make it on the 22nd? Show of hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry, but the 22nd seems to work better.
That's why I'm an alternate, so.
Okay,
Don't say more on me.
all right. So why don't we mark that in? October 22nd will be the planning, Tuesday, October 22nd will be our October meeting date. Greg, that's good with you?
That is good. Thank you.
Okay. And the rest of the dates, everybody knows that it's generally the 4th Thursday of every month, except for there's no meeting in November, and December, it's the 1st Thursday, which is Dec 5th. Can I get a motion to move this resolution, please?
So moved.
Councilman Roman
Second.
moves. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by the mayor. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Anybody not in favor? Any abstentions? The motion passes. And last but not least, designation of the township newspaper by resolution 2024-06. Can I get a motion to move that?
Motion.
Vice Chair Fresky makes the motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Al Diold. All in favor? Aye. Anyone not in favor? Any abstentions? Motion passes. We will now move on to the reorganization of subcommittees. You all should have, do we have a list in this packet?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'm just going to pull it up. Okay. If there are no changes to anybody currently here, or if somebody would like to try a different committee or move off of one committee or another, please say your piece.
I was on the master planning committee.
You
committee.
still are.
It's not on the list.
Jason, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm adding it right now.
Perhaps Ms. Parker wants to join the committee as well?
Yes, I was gonna ask that. Is there any changes to committees?
I had stepped down from the
Yes.
master plan committee.
We know,
I'm not on another committee at this point,
that's
and I
correct.
don't know if there's any committee that needs membership.
Actually, they could all use up to one more person. There's the Landscape and Environmental Committee.
I'll do that.
Okay. Can we please put Julie on the Landscape and Environmental? There is the Site Plan and Subdivision Committee, which is comprised of myself, Mr. Hindman, and Mr. Lilly. And there's the Architectural Review Board, which is comprised of Councilman Roman, Mr. Kamudi, and myself. Architectural Review, Site Plan and Subdivision Committee, which meets so regularly, it's impossible. I mean, I can't even catch my breath. And Doc, do you want to join any of those?
I don't mind. I'm just looking if any committee.
Are you into architecture? Are you into the architecture?
Sure.
Okay, let's put Al on the Architectural Review.
Board.
Okay. Any other changes? All right, so those are the only two changes. At this time, I can open public participation, but seeing no members of the public here, I will immediately close that and then move on to G, approval of meeting minutes from the regular meeting held on June 27, 2024. Has everybody received those meeting minutes and had a chance to review them?
Motion to adopt the minutes as written.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I have a motion made by the mayor to approve the minutes as they, second by Mr. Fresky. Roll call vote, or just, okay. Everybody who votes to approve? Aye. Anybody, 2 abstentions? Ms. Park, 3 abstentions. Everybody else was here, present. 4 abstentions. We have Mr. Lilly, Ms. Parker, Mr. Heinzman, and Mr. O'Sullivan, all abstain. And then we have 2 absents. Okay? Oh, 1 absent, I'm sorry. Moving right along, we will now move on to the consistency determination of ordinance 2024-28, amending the standards of the C2 professional zone by establishing assisted living facilities as a conditional use and co-working space as permitted use. These are amendments to the zoning code, which is why we are reviewing for consistency with the master plan. And we also were sent a memo by our planner. If that's somewhere in your packet. Yes. Which carefully points out the portions of the master plan that we worked hard on that provide consistency to the updates and changes. First, let me open it up to any outstanding questions that you might have about these updates, if anybody has any questions. And if not, let me, any comments or tweaks that you would recommend that the council take to sort of edit this down, if there are any. I'm seeing none.
I just have a general comment.
Sure.
Unfortunately, Stan's not here, but I just want to say, so nice having a board planner to prepare this because it makes our job so much easier. And
Doesn't it?
saves us time from having to go through and hunt through a 300-page document for the provisions. Like, I think this was addressed here, and it's already there. So
Yeah.
Stan is not here, but I just wanted to thank him.
Madam Chair, I was going to say this, express the same gratitude. I do, however, want to add, you don't have to agree
Yes.
with what's in. So this is her recommendation. It is still up to the board to make the final determination. Personally, I don't see anything in here not to agree with, but it's the board's decision and not Sam's, as
Right.
much as this is helpful and certainly what we would like to expect in the future, because it's great.
It is. I agree.
I have some concerns on it.
Do you have a concern?
Yeah. This reminds me of something came before the board a while ago to ask for, I think it was a zoning change for the Ridgefield Park being an assisted living place, and we had a,
No,
you know,
you mean the Richfield caterers?
caterers, yeah, Ridgefield Park, the Ridgefield Embassy Plaza Pavilion, whatever it is, where they wanted to convert that. And, you know, we saw, outside of the master plan, we saw that as just not a good fit there, because the statements made by their the developer and their planner said, oh, it'd be great for elderly or assisted folks to be able to cross and walk around. It's like a very busy area. So this, you know, what's the rationale behind this? Is there another development or something that is prompting this?
Most likely there is, but I don't have any official understanding of when. But if you recall, when we were discussing the master plan,
Yeah.
we wanted to be extremely careful about not putting a use in specific places, but we were all very much a proponent of allowing this use to occur somewhere appropriate in Verona, not Bloomfield Avenue. Go ahead, Greg.
That's not the determination. This determination is whether the proposed ordinance is consistent with the master plan.
Right.
It's not whether the planning board wants more of this type of housing or wants the co-worker space. It's, if you look at the master plan, which Sam did, and you look at this ordinance, are they compatible? Are they consistent? Not, oh, I don't want, 12 stories. And so that's the role right now.
Yeah, that's the role now. And, it's rather, I'm looking for the page, it's rather, I know, it's on my computer. It's prescriptive. It says here, 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 and here. Now,
Yes.
Do we all agree those are the right spots for that?
Well, we could recommend a different spot, but I believe that the reasoning behind that was to provide for good circulation, and proper setbacks, enough space for outdoor enjoyment. I mean, the minimum lot size for this is 4.5 acres. So, versus the 1 acre with 110 units that were proposed on Bloomfield Avenue. This is a 4.5 acre lot that allows for 30 units per acre, not 110, so that there's proper density. I kind of think that it was very well thought out in that regard, whether you want that type of housing or not. Again, what Greg said.
And I also find it strange, that I don't like the fact that it combines the co-working space, which I think is a needed modern definition, along with this. Feels like.
But it's C2 zone. It's the change and update to one type of, okay?
But it's one, it's either this or not, so you can have two resolutions.
But they're updating one particular zone, and that zone allows for those two uses because of where they exist in town.
Yeah, I'd like to hear if everyone, does anyone have any, concerns with these particular choices? I mean, the bulk standards and, what is the minimum lot size, all this stuff. Visualize.
Does it? Please.
I can I can give a little bit of the legislative perspective if I can on this.
Please.
This is done in consideration of the different intents of the different zones in the community. They feel that they are expected to have the lot sizes that are available within the zones, the traffic within the zones. The C2 zone is decidedly different than the TC zone and the ETC zone in character. And again, when you look at the minimum lot size that would be required to do an assisted living facility, there are a limited subset of properties that would qualify anywhere within the township. And in the C2 zone, there are a few that do exist. And then one of the things is that there could potentially be an assemblage of land within C2 of currently developed land that might, yield one more 4.5 acre plus lot, although that I would consider to be unlikely to have happen. But the C2 zone itself is almost the only zone where I could see these quieter, this was one of the challenges we had when we talked about assisted living. We said this is a use that requires space and buffers in order to make an appropriate residential facility for the users of this facility. And when you look at assisted living facilities in other communities, like there are several in Cedar Grove, for example, they have large setbacks, large lawn areas, lots of landscaping, good site circulation, the ability to get emergency vehicles in and out of there, the ability to get delivery trucks in and out of there for all the food and supplies that they need. And we looked at this, and that's why this goes to the C2 zone, because it is from our opinion, it's a compatible use with the C2 zone, as stated by the master plan. Co-working space is another interesting one. We talked a lot about professional office as a land use. This is one that I personally honed in on a lot in terms of reviewing the master plan, because I consider it to be one of the most likely changes in land use on an ongoing basis with the move to work from home for a lot of professional service businesses. So we had to think about how we would keep the professional office sector viable. You don't want all of those buildings to go vacant or the rents to go down and them to become less productive. So allowing co-working in the C2 zone is a very similar use to what's there now. It's just it has one more, essentially one more layer between the lessor and the ultimate user, or it's not really an intensification of the existing use, at least in my opinion. So we did look at these zones individually. We are kind of doing this in terms of process. We're asking the planner to look at certain segments rather than coming up with this one master omnibus ordinance to update the entire zoning ordinance all at one time, which I think if we try and actually get into discussion on that, we'll get lost. So this is the strategy that we asked about. So that's the thought process from the council as to why this is here, is because of the character of the C2 zone.
Maybe to dig a little bit deeper, and following up on Tim's earlier question, is what's the sequence of events that results in SAN producing this memo? So there's an opportunity, someone approaches the board, like how does it all line up?
This isn't, if I may answer, this is not targeted at, we do not spot zone for individual developments, that's area in need of redevelopment. Obviously there has been interest in this community in building assisted living zones, but the process that we've engaged in with SAN was we specifically asked her to look at a couple of tasks. We asked her to look at, for example, the area in need of rehabilitation for the Bloomfield Avenue corridor. We asked her to look at this use for the C2 zone. We're basically tasking her with pieces of the master plan that we feel are higher priority updates that we would rather see in place sooner rather than later. Particularly, we would want, when there is development in this community, we would like it to be something we want. And by setting up our zoning ordinance to prioritize these things, it's more likely that those things will happen and less productive land will go to productive use, but only in the manner that's envisioned. So the council was sort of managing this process by tasking her with jobs one at a time based on the master plan and based on our feelings as to where the zoning code needs to go.
Is town center, as was mentioned in the last meeting, is currently being, the focus of her attention now, right?
She's reviewing.
So town center is the next.
Okay, thank you. I understand.
Right.
What is in the Grove Avenue C2 zone? Just looking at that. It's like a small square.
I can again answer.
Yes, please.
The Grove Avenue C2 zone consists of, I think it's the Sestone property, which is the one that's currently under environmental remediation. It's where Vanguard is in that entire property. I think 2125 Grove is C2, maybe, or is it ET, or is it TC?
I think that's it.
I think it's TC.
It's a small part of that part of the road.
That's C2, right? So
Oh my
that's
God, yeah, what a mess there.
yeah,
Maybe that should be enveloped, but
right.
yeah. But also Upper Bloomfield Avenue, right?
A lot of the Pompton corridor is when you think of professional office in this town, you think of all those little office buildings, the medical buildings and so on, all up and down Pompton between.
What about the top of Bloomfield Avenue between Forest and Fells?
I think that's TC. I don't
No,
think
it's
there's
not.
ETC. You're right.
I'm talking about Forest Avenue, up here. The medical building across,
That's ETC. Just because it's a professional office does not necessarily,
it's not extended town center.
I think it's just, right. I mean, we didn't, the zones did not go to the existing land uses necessarily, otherwise there would never, be such a thing as a non-conforming use.
I'm getting the map. I'm getting the map.
No, yeah, I'm looking at the map. The C2 is sort of where after, let's see, after Fairview, sort of bends and
That's what I'm saying. So there's, C2 is up here, where we are here. Right. It's up here, it's on Grove, it's on Pompton. It's not on Bloomfield Avenue except for this end of the avenue, where we are now.
And I understand like Pompton, that's great. And I notice what's not here is that for assisted living in particular, it says conditions are not in C2 at the end of Bloomfield. Am I right?
You have to be on Grove Avenue, it says very clearly in
It says
ordinance.
lot frontage on Grove Avenue, Commerce Court, or Pompton Avenue.
Right.
That C2 zone is off.
This piece of land here is not, it's not adequate. Right.
For the assisted living, co-working.
Correct. Co-working is fine. Are there any other questions or concerns? All right. Does anybody have anything in regards to a memo to be sent besides the fact that we applaud the memo that we got from Sam? Okay. Then can I get a motion to find Town Council Ordinance, sorry, I have to find my agenda again, Town Council Ordinance 2024-28, amending the standards of the C2 zone, et cetera, and the amendments to Chapter 150 Verona zoning code, consistent with Verona's master plan, or not inconsistent with Verona's master plan. Can I?
Mayor, if it's okay, I would like to incorporate the comments in San's July 22nd, 2024 memo into our resolution.
Absolutely. Can I get a motion for that whole thing that I just said, plus the memo?
So moved.
The mayor moves the motion. Can I get a second? I'll second it. How's that? Can we please take a roll call vote on this? You'll have a resolution next month? I'm not sure. She's laughing.
Ms. Parker,
Abstain.
Mr. Lilly,
Yes.
Mr. Hyman,
Yes.
Mr. Kamudi,
Yes.
Mr. Deal.
Yes.
Mr. O'Sullivan,
Yes.
Councilman Roman,
Yes.
Mayor Tamboro,
Yes.
Vice Chair Feskey,
Yes.
Chairperson Pearson.
Yes. Thank you. The motion passes, and then we just have two remaining resolutions that were sort of a little bit of house cleaning. We dug up the first one from the Bloomfield Avenue corridor hearing, qualifying the Bloomfield Avenue corridor as an area in need of rehabilitation. Mr. Massara drafted that resolution up. It's Resolution 2024-01.
More than a month later.
A little more than a month later. That's why I said next month. So has everybody had a chance to review this? As well, there was a recommendation incorporated in this from Mr. Heinman, which had recommended that the township also add hard records of information proving the age of the water infrastructure underneath the corridor so that we don't have any issues. Can I get a motion to move this forward, Resolution 2024-01? Anyone?
Second.
Mr. Deal moves, Mayor Tamboro seconds. Can we get a roll call vote, please? I believe Councilman Roman was absent from this meeting. You were. So, I guess you have to abstain from voting, right?
No, I think he was here for this one, but not here. This for 2402.
2402 was last month.
Yeah, that was when Alex was on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Alex was here for 24.
Okay, you have a better memory than I do, thank you. It's a sieve, it's a sieve.
Correct.
Right.
Mr. Lilly,
Yes.
Mr. Hyman,
Yes.
Mr. Kamudi,
Yes.
Mr. O'Sullivan,
Yes.
Councilman Roman, Mayor Tamboro,
Yes.
Vice Chair Fresky,
Yes.
Chair Pearson.
Yes. The motion passes.
Skip me for whatever reason.
Oh, I did. I apologize.
Okay, yes.
Mr. Deal?
Now the motion passes. Okay, and moving on to Resolution 2024-02, finding block 704, lots 18 and 20, basically Bloomfield Avenue and Church Street, an area in need of redevelopment. Incorporated into this was also the recommendation that the planning board be charged with drafting the overlay zone requirements. Just to let you know. Was anybody absent from this meeting? Mr. O'Sullivan, Mr. Heinman, and Mr. Lilly? And, yeah. So, and Mr. Roman? Okay, so the remaining people could be called on.
I was late, but I was here.
Yeah, Mr. Roman was here. Sorry, Mayor, I was backing you, but he claims he was here.
Okay, I don't know why, okay,
I know I came in late for one of them, but I think that's the one.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I just recently watched.
I was here for the discussion.
Yeah.
Because I remember the debate that we got into over this one.
Okay.
We did the merits.
That's what I took. Yeah.
Okay, did anybody move this?
Not yet.
Can I get somebody to move this that was here?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Mr. Kamudi. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Fresky. Can we get a roll call vote of those who were here?
Mr. Kamudi,
Yes.
Mr. Deal,
Yes.
Councilman Roman,
Yes.
Mayor Tamboro,
Yes.
Vice Chair Fresky.
Yes.
Chair Pearson.
Yes. The motion passes.
And may I ask our board secretary when you received the draft of this resolution? Wasn't it the day?
Are you actually doing this?
After our last meeting?
Those are the censure of the board. Harassing us.
I was not the board secretary the day after the last meeting.
You said incredible? Because it was the day after the meeting.
Right, of course. So if, that is everything on the agenda. If there's no new business, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Mayor makes the motion, second? I'll second. Everybody's aye.
Aye.
Good night, thank you.
Nice. Thank you.
Go. Justice.